Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred here. How are you today? Today we're going to be going over interval notation, using interval notation to state the domain. So I want to review a couple of things. So number sets, and that word set. A set is just a collection of items called elements. Sometimes a set could be like, when you write x equals 5, like you get an answer. 5 is an element in the set. It's an answer to the set. The empty set, we sometimes call it null set, contains no elements. That means that there's when you get no solution, you could see someone write the empty set. So sets can be finite, which means they stop. That means it has a countable number of elements in the set of all possible rolls of a single dice, right? There's 6. So you know that that's a finite set. Or sets can be infinite with unlimited numbers in the set. The set of all real numbers between 1 and 6. There's an unlimited number of numbers between 1 and 6. That would be an infinite set. So when we're talking about sets, we can describe them in many ways. We can describe them in words, roster notation, which we put brackets or sometimes parentheses around them, and we can use those for both infinite and finite sets, although they're usually used for finite sets. We could use inequalities, such as like x is greater than 5, so that's telling me I want every number greater than 5. Or the new one that we're going to really be talking about this year is interval notation. Okay, so this is when we're looking for an infinite set or numbers between a set of numbers between two endpoints or from one endpoint going on. And with interval notation, we're going to either use parentheses or brackets. Okay, so the parentheses, like I said in the last video, the symbol means the endpoint is not in the set, and a bracket means the endpoint is in the set. So think of the bracket as an equal to. It equals that number, as well as every number either bigger or less than. All right, so let's take a look. Here are some graphs of inequalities. So as an inequality, we might just write this as x is between 4 and -1. In interval notation, we would write that with a bracket, a -1, a comma, a 4, and a bracket. So reading interval notation, this means that I want all the numbers from -1 and including -1 all the way to the number 4 and including 4, okay? All right, so let's try it on this next one. This next example, I want bracket -1, comma 4, parentheses. Why parentheses? Well, because it's got an open circle here. It's not including 4, but it does include -1. All right, a little bit more challenging. Here we've got from 4 going this way forever, and we need to remember that going forever this way means I'm getting closer to infinity. Over here, I'm getting closer to -infinity. All right, so we would write that as parentheses 4, comma, infinity. Now, on the other side of infinity, we always put a parentheses because we never can equal infinity. All right, this one's a little bit trickier, okay? So this, I want all the numbers less than -1 and or greater than 4, okay? All right, so I got to deal with this part first. I'm going to do -infinity all the way to -1. Now we want to write interval notation reading from left to right. So -infinity is on the left, so we're going to put -infinity on the left of our interval notation. And a parentheses. We don't include -1, so a parentheses. Now, to bring these two together, we use the symbol union. So a U for union. That means basically think of it like this, almost like this. I'm going to go all the way over to the number on the other side, which would be 4. Bracket, why? Because I'm including 4. And then I want everything going this way, so I'm going towards infinity, like this. Okay, now the one we talked about yesterday, I want to review again, is all real numbers. If every single number is in the set, in interval notation, we write that as -infinity to infinity. All right, so these were just general introductions, these two videos into how we're going to write domain and range using interval notation. So first of all, in your lesson in class, we're going to be talking about the 4 ways that you can look at functions, and then how you determine their domain or their range. And then how do we write the domain and the range? We'll write it using interval notation. Okay, so that was my quick introduction to that. Hopefully that helped, and I'll see you tomorrow.